There's talk about whether this could be a threat to our national security, having the president be sick. So far, he hasn't been, the White House hasn't been totally transparent about what's going on with him. They've said he has mild symptoms, but this is a White House that has a credibility problem. Talk to me about the national security implications.
Well, I would look for a couple of things. It is so important for them to be transparent. Communication with the public about the status of the president's health, his mental capacity is very important. The public should be reassured that we do have strong continuity of operations plans in place. There are professionals, not politicals, professionals that are responsible for executing those and ensuring that the line of succession is protected. And it would be very wise for Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and others in leadership at the White House to be in communications with the folks at FEMA and other parts of the government that participate in that continuity of operations to make sure that they are appropriately keeping people separated and protected. I think I would also be looking, I'm a little concerned for White House staff and anybody that's been around White House staff for the last week. That could be a number of national security professionals. So this would be an appropriate time to, if they're not already doing it, move to an operational battle rhythm where you have multiple teams on duty and you rotate those teams. So if one team goes down, you still have 2 or 3 other teams that you can call upon. So the professionals in the government know how to handle this. I just want to appeal to those that are on the political side who might think that this is a time to not fully share. This is the most important time for you to be transparent about everybody's health so that the professionals can make sure that our national security operations can continue and keep us all safe.
Let's drill down on that for a moment. Our adversaries are always looking for an opening, always looking for a weak spot. Why is it important for the White House to be abundantly clear, transparent as possible about the condition of the president?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of factors, right? We know that COVID, for some people, it can have an effect of affecting your mental abilities. You had a doctor on earlier, talked about potential confusion. And so you just want to make the right decision about when and if the vice president may need to step in while he is not feeling well. This has occurred in the past. I don't think we need to be alarmist about it. It would be better for them to just be transparent about where he is and what kind of help he may need in order to recover. But the other thing that I would be watching for anytime you have an episode like this and the president of the United States is, has a health concern, our adversaries do look for opportunities when we might be distracted to try to take advantage. And they may do this. We know that Russia is a master at disinformation. They may try to exploit this episode and create conspiracy theories or sow more division within our country. Other adversaries may look at this as an opportunity to maybe try to make a strategic gain militarily or economically and think we won't notice it. Let me convey to both our adversaries and the public that the career professionals in the military and in the intelligence community have their eye on the ball. They are going to do their jobs and do their jobs well. We are have a very strong national security apparatus, and I have no doubt that any attempt to try to take advantage of what they perceive to be as potential chaos at the United States will be met appropriately. And I would also remind everybody that the national security community has been dealing with chaos from the Trump administration for 3.5 years. They're quite used to, at this point, how you operate with somebody at the top that isn't exactly forthcoming and transparent about information.
You make such a good point, because when our adversaries try to sow disinformation, the way to combat that is complete transparency and honesty from the White House. That's how you assure the American public that what they're seeing is the truth and not what they're reading online. Frankly, can't trust a lot of what you read on social media. I think we all know that by now. Elizabeth Newman.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.